Wouldn't you love to sell more and make more money? Who wouldn't, right? These 8 tips are all based on buyer psychology to help you really superpower those Etsy sales.
But first, I'm Jess at Insights by Jess. I dig deep into what makes Etsy stores successful and where they can improve so that you get the full 411 on what's really selling and why. Let's jump in.
Buyer psychology is a huge area of research, of course, because money makes the world go round, right? Since for almost a decade and a half, I've been an entrepreneur and had plenty of time to research all the different aspects of buyer/seller psychology over the years, and I'm a big-time nerd. This channel really lets me put my research obsession to good use, and I thought this would be an especially fun video to make. So without further ado, I have compiled 8 tips using buyer psychology, or as some people put it, sales psychology, to really boost your sales and help you make more money on Etsy. I do want to give a quick disclaimer that I have really compiled a lot of different research into a relatively short, hopefully short video. So if you would like to read more on any of these tips that I give you, please comment down below what you would like to learn more about, and I can always give you some more sources and academic journals that go into deep detail on these types of philosophies. But for the sake of this video, we're going to keep it pretty brief and hopefully pretty approachable. All right, with that out of the way, let's dive in.
Okay, so the very first tip is to showcase why you're the best. And I've talked about this in a couple of my videos so far, but essentially what this means is you have to convince your buyers why they should buy from you, right? Why buy from you and not one of the million other Etsy stores that are open right now? Well, one of the ways that you can do that is to literally tell them why you're the best or what's unique about your item. So one of the ways that you can do that is by making an image of your unique features or the things that set you apart from other people. For example, we can see here on this store listing from Unmeasured Events that they have some great photos. One of the best ones that I personally like is this particular image here that says instant access, no expiration dates, you can edit pretty much everything, and of course they prompt you to try their demo, which we're going to talk more about in a different tip in just a minute. They also have this really smart image here. I'm going to expand it so you can see a little better with all of their FAQs. We're going to talk more about that as well. But what they have done with these various images here is essentially give you information explaining how easy it is to use and why they are the best. So that is one great example. Another great example, or maybe even a better example, is by Lilac Personalized. Now this is a physical product. So they actually have a great image here. There it is. It has this little next day shipping banner on it. Now this is a really unique item. You get to choose the little flower that's on it. If I jump back here to the first picture, you can see that you basically get to custom make this item. So the fact that they can ship it out that very next day, that's huge. That's like a massive selling feature, and that puts them ahead of their competition. So with this little banner down here in the corner, they are clearly saying, you're going to get this fast, even though it's a personalized gift. That's really smart, really genius. The last example I'm going to show you here is, which I don't have open here, we're going to jump up here, from Digital Curio. I've got to open their shop, because search suggests some weird stuff sometimes. Okay, so one of the things that I absolutely love about Digital Curio is that they offer commercial use. And if you look at their main images for pretty much any one of their listings, okay, so we can see here on their main image for this listing, let me make it a little bit bigger in case you're having trouble seeing this tiny little print that says commercial use. And they also put that right here in all of their titles. It's also in their description as well. But a lot of digital design art makers don't actually allow you to use their art or their designs for commercial products or for commercial selling. So that is a unique feature that really sets Digital Curio apart. Also, what you can do is make a separate image that will show your best feedback. So if you have some great feedback, if we scroll down here for Digital Curio, we can see most of her feedback is pretty short. Okay, great design, look forward to using it soon. Absolutely breathtaking. So there's a lot of different feedbacks that we could use. Absolutely gorgeous beyond words. Very nice backgrounds, versatile to use, if we can see right here. Printed very beautiful and color intensive. So you can take those feedbacks and you can actually put them as an image as well. So if you haven't already filled up all of your 10 spaces for images, that's a great way to show that, hey, I'm a good seller, people love what I give them, and my products are high quality, and they will be more incentivized that way to purchase from you as opposed to one of your competitors. So basically, in the effort to showcase why you are the best, make sure that you have in your images special features or things that set you apart. Or for example, in one of my videos that I have coming out soon, they actually sell print-on-demand tumblers, and they have, let me pull it open actually. I'm going to give you guys a sneak peek of a video that is publishing soon. It actually might be published by the time you see this. So feel free to check that out. This is an amazing store, but in their video, they actually show some really unique features that set their stores apart or their products apart from other competitors. So you can see they have a lot of different things to choose from, and they've really done a great job here of showcasing what makes them better. In addition to that, of course, is the image with the feedback if you have space. So let's go on to the next tip. People love to save money. So essentially what you want to do is help encourage people to feel like they are saving money. You want them to feel like they are getting a great deal or they are getting great value from their purchase from you. So there's a few different ways that you can do that. For example, in this Fleur de Soleil mock-ups, which we feature in our 21 digital niches that all make like $250 a day or more video, if you haven't seen that, go check that out. In Fleur de Soleil mock-ups, if we go to their main page here, you can see that they have a build your own bundle discount. So there's a different discount code or coupon code to use to get a bigger discount the more you buy, which is a genius idea. Not only are you increasing your listing price or your average cart price, you are also increasing your profit, especially with digital designs, because the higher you get your cart price up, the more of the profits you get to keep. This is even more powerful, I think, in some circumstances with physical products. So essentially, if you have a physical product that you're shipping out, you only have to pay shipping on that one time, right? If someone buys 3 items, you can ship them together and you're only paying that one time of shipping. And shipping might cost a little more because the product is going to be heavier or the package is going to be bigger, but essentially you will save more money than if you shipped them all individually. Therefore, your profit margin increases the more items they buy. That is also true with print on demand, because as you sell multiple items, those print on demand manufacturers will discount the second and third and so on products that ship out because they all ship together. So that's great. You're not only letting your customer save money, you're not only giving your customer a discount, but you're also saving money as well. So it's kind of like a win-win situation. Another way that you can help your buyers to feel like they are saving money is to offer a $35 and up free shipping discount. So this is really common, and Etsy will actually advertise this a lot to you as a seller. It'll be in your seller dashboard a lot if you're not already offering this. And essentially what it means is that when a customer sells when a customer buys $35 or more from you, the shipping then is free. And this is really great. People love to get free shipping. Free shipping is actually a driving factor in a lot of online sales. So this is a great option to add in. However, there's a little bit of disclaimer. If you are going to offer a $35 free shipping deal, Etsy doesn't always tell buyers that, so make sure you add it to one of your top listing images. Like one of the first few listing images that they're going to scroll through, have that on there as like a little banner, or if you are short on images, you can even make it its own image, but make sure you advertise that because Etsy may not tell the buyer shipping is free if they spend that much money. So those are definitely great ideas. And if you see my arm going up, it's because I'm reading my notes, because I have to have all of my notes here. This is a lot of information. So that makes it really, really powerful for you to really incentivize your customers to buy from you and to buy more from you, because the more they buy, the more they save. And everybody loves to save money. Now, kind of on the flip side of that is tip number 3. Use scarcity to sell more. So I think we have all heard of FOMO, and FOMO stands for fear of missing out, and that is a very, very real thing, and it has been heavily, heavily researched in sales psychology or buyer psychology. So, oh, I forgot my reading glasses. Hang on. I'm trying to read my notes in my little screen up here, and I cannot really see what it says. Okay, I hate my reading glasses because not only do I look like a dork, but if my kids distract me and I'm like looking at my child like, what'd you say? What'd you ask? What do you need? I'm instantly dizzy. So am I the only one that has this problem? Like, I don't know. Comment below if you've also had this problem. You know, commiserate with me. Let me know I'm not alone, okay? But anyways, getting back to the point here, using scarcity to sell more is super, super powerful in terms of getting more sales. And there's a few different ways that you can add scarcity or utilize the idea of scarcity. So one of the first things that I would suggest is you can use quantity or a limited quantity specifically to encourage buyers to purchase now because they don't want to miss out. And what I mean by that is that if you only have 5 items, Etsy is going to actually tell your buyer that you only have a few left. One of the examples of that is on this search page here this is a hummingbird feeder search page. It's just a random search page. If you scroll down here, I'll try not to go too fast. It's quite a ways down here though. Let me see here. Okay, here we go. So you can see 2 messages here. Oh, 3 actually. There we go. Okay, so here it says there's only 2 left, order soon. Only 2 left, order soon. This one down here says only 3 left, order soon. So you will see these messages, and what that does is that incentivizes your buyer to actually buy it now, because once it's out, you may not have it again. Though, oh, there's another one right here. So it's actually pretty common, especially I'm sure with actual physical products like this. However, when you go to the listing page, you can see it there as well. And right here, you'll see that it says low in stock. And actually, sometimes even it will say, I don't know if it's only on the mobile, but it will add it in a little message on the add to cart button, like it'll be split in half, and one side will say add to cart or buy now, and the other side will say there's only 2 left or it's low in stock. So Etsy does essentially give you these little messages that tell your buyer, hey, this is a limited quantity product and you should buy it now. So that's a great way to use scarcity, because it kind of puts that fear into your customer's mind that if I don't get this now, I may not get it at all. So another way to utilize scarcity, and I talk about this one in almost every single one of my videos, or in a lot of my videos, is to use timed sales. And what I mean by that is to set like a limit on how long your sales last. And that does take some time to go in and set up because we have to manually set up all of our sales. If you time your sales to last for 1 to 3 days, depending on how much time you have to sit down and schedule them all out, that can have a powerful impact as well, because if you see on this search page here, which I just searched for bridal tumblers, you can see a lot of these little green banners that say sale ends in 15 hours, sale ends in 40 hours. And what that does is that tells you, oh, this is on sale and it's not on sale for very long, so I should buy it now before it goes back up to full price. So that is actually a really powerful driver for converting buyers into customers. So going from that search or from that listing into actually getting that click of the purchase. Okay, that brings me to my next tip. People love free stuff. And this is very similar to people like to save money, except it goes a little bit further than that, a little bit beyond that, in that people love giveaways. They love samples. You know, we go to Costco just to get the free samples, right? Like when you go to Costco and they don't have free samples out, it's disappointing. We have come to expect free samples, and that is a really big power move for sellers. But a lot of Etsy sellers don't think to incorporate that, or they don't know how to incorporate that. So that's what I'm here for. I'm going to help you out. So the first example that I have is this amazing store. I also did a video on this store. This is 𝑬𝒕𝒔𝒄. So essentially what they do is they let you personalize these tags, and you can choose all different options, but down here you get to type in what font you want or what you want the text to read. And they have this lovely little feature here that says test fonts at, and I'm going to go ahead and open that up. And what this does is it lets you try out the fonts. So I can go ahead and type things in. And what this does essentially is it helps me see or visualize what this is going to look like when I purchase it. So it's a little bit of a like free trial, and it's very important in getting your buyer attached. And I think I talk about this in the original video, but the longer that your buyer spends looking at an item, the more likely they are to buy it. And actually, this is powerful in so many aspects of consumerism or of shopping. It's exactly why IKEA lets you walk through an entire mock house before you ever get to all of the aisles that have the stuff on it, because they want you to visualize what something's going to look like, and they want you to spend as much time there as possible. You can have lunch at IKEA because the longer you stay, the more you're going to buy, and that can be utilized as an Etsy seller as well. If there's any way that you can do that in your own listings, that's a really, really powerful way to do it. Another example here for digital sellers is this seller called Live Love Planners. What they do is they're a little bit more clear of a freebie here. If I go down to their description, it says download a free sample notebook here. And what that's going to do is give me just a little piece of this product and really get me hooked on it. If I like it, I'm going to want the full thing. Another smart thing that this buyer does is they add bonuses, and bonuses can be a really powerful way to capture more sales as well. So for example, down here we see it says there's 64 note templates and 20 custom sections in this product, plus there's the magic word, plus 1,000 plus stickers and 78 covers. I'm never going to use 78 covers, right? I don't care. That sounds cool. That sounds like a lot of stuff. And words like plus or bonus or extra or freebie, those are powerful. They really get into your head with the psychology of wanting to buy something. So you can definitely do, if you have a digital item, something like this. Even if you don't, even if you have a physical item, there are other ways to incorporate giving freebies or giving bonus items. For example, this is a jewelry store called Delazen. This is a typical necklace that you would see. I think there's a lot of different sellers that essentially have a very, very similar necklace to this, if not the same necklace. This particular store sells like crazy, and a big part of that is because they have these beautiful cards on here that have extra wording that kind of explain what the stones are, what they're for. Like citrine stands for joy, success, and self-confidence. They have your birthday, like your zodiac sign up here, and they also say right here, build your own necklace, which really lets you feel like you have the power, right? You have the power to customize something. That's not the only thing they offer. So in addition to these beautiful cards that are extra, they also, if I go to their very last picture, they also come in a beautiful little gift box with a care tips card. So this may seem like no big deal. It may seem like, okay, yeah, it's just a care tips card. It probably cost them like 25 cents to order a big stack of these cards. You can get them printed out in various sizes. You can literally just go to Vistaprint and use a coupon code to get custom cards. You can get like custom holiday cards, for example, with any image you want on it, and you just upload these images. However, when you put them in your package and your buyer gets them, they open it up, they see this really pretty little card in here, and they feel like, oh, how nice, it's got a card. How many times has that happened to you? Like, have you ever ordered something on Etsy and, oh, there's a little card, or oh, there's a little note? It makes buyers happy. And so these tiny little details like this really go a long way to make the buyer feel like you did something extra for them. You gave them a bonus, or you took some extra time for them. And it really can make a big difference in your sales. So even if you have a physical product or a digital product or whatever type of product you have, there are ways to add, free samples, free like trial testing out of fonts or of different aspects. There's little bonus cards you can put in there. There's lots of different things that you can do to give something extra or to provide something extra to your customer. So while we're talking about freebies, make sure you go down to the link in the description and check out my freebies. I have lots of good stuff in there for hopefully helping you be a better Etsy seller or learn more stuff, do more stuff. And yeah, they're free. So check that out. That brings me to my next tip. Show, don't just tell. So videos, for example, have power. You can demonstrate an item with a video. You can show it in use. And this kind of ties into the whole concept that I was talking about a minute ago, where you really want the buyer to envision themselves with the product. You really want the buyer to picture having that product. And you definitely don't want any questions in terms of, if it's any good or not, how big is it, what does it look like in natural light or whatever. Videos have so much power. So over the next couple of tips, I have some really, really great videos that will also really apply to what I'm talking about right now with really letting your buyer envision the product or envision themselves using the product. But let's get started with some image examples first, because I don't want to show you videos over and over and over again. So you're going to want to make sure that when you use photos, you crop out the faces or crop out the heads, or at least crop out the eyes, because you want people to envision your product. But for some reason, a lot of research has been done and has shown that images without eyes and without full faces tend to get more clicks. They tend to get more conversions. So I talk about this in a few different videos, and I don't want to drag this on too much, but it is very, very, very powerful. this is a great example here. I love how they have, this is a bestseller sweater, and they have cropped out the person's face so that you can imagine yourself wearing the sweater. In this image here, same concept. So the person has been cropped out of the face, or their face has been cropped out of the image so that you can picture yourself. You can see what it looks like when it's on somebody, and that doesn't necessarily conflict in your brain with what it would look like on you. So if you saw a full face, you may not make that connection as easily in your brain. And I'm not exactly sure how that works, but I do know that it has been very heavily researched. So this is a great, great, great concept here. And another way that you can really help get somebody attached to your product and really drives those sales is with personalization. And I realize that not every product is personalizable, but if you are in some way, shape, or form able to incorporate personalization into your store somehow, that can be really, really powerful for driving sales. So for example, this jewelry box here is really, really popular, and it has a personalized name on it. And notice they've cropped out the face so you can envision yourself with this product, or envision, in this case, probably the person you want to give it to, because personalized products are almost always gifts. So this is a really big seller because you have your own name on it, or the name of the person you're giving something to, and personalized gifts are really, really, really popular. They never really go out of style. People love to give personalized gifts because, first of all, they know that that person isn't going to already have it, and second of all, it just shows a little bit more sentiment, right? It's a little bit more feeling behind it, a little more thoughtfulness. So there's different ways that you can personalize something, even if it's not necessarily a personalized product, even if there's not a name on it, right? So for example, this is a metaphysical store. They sell crystals and like gems. So the way that they have incorporated personalization here is by letting you pick your own crystals. I cannot even speak today because I feel like I'm 5 cups of coffee short here. You can customize the crystals that you order and make your own personalized crystal bag. So it's really cool, and if you kind of scroll through to their description, it does talk about how you can leave things in the description, such as what you're personally struggling with, or something that you need, your favorite colors, and your zodiac sign. Or you can specifically, if I go down a little bit more, specifically request certain specific crystals. This is really popular because people love being able to choose, and a lot of times with other like pre-made crystal sets, there's multiple crystals in there that you're not going to want. This is really powerful because it's really putting the power into your buyer's hands in terms of they're getting exactly what they want. Right here in their title, whoops, as my highlighter goes crazy here, they do say personalized crystal bag, pick your crystals, customized. So that's 3 different like wording variations that all say this is personalized. I also want to point out about this that there's this little printed card, or it could just be a piece of paper, I'm not really sure, but they check off which crystals they put into your bag and the personalization. So for this particular one, they picked these crystals for the customer because they were a Libra. They stand for happiness, luck, success, and love. So that's also a little bit of personalization for an item that otherwise would not be personalized. Editable designs are great choices as well. If you check out the 21 digital stores video that I made, there's several examples of editable digital designs in that big ol' list of 21 stores. That goes hand in hand with my next psychology principle, or the next tip. You want to appeal to your buyer's feelings, appeal to their emotions, and you can do that in a few different ways, but essentially you want to make your buyer feel something when they look at your listing, whether that's happiness, excitement, fear, etc. Now, one of the ways that we can do that is by using an appeal statement, and I talk a lot about appeal statements, and that's basically just a beginning sentence or two at the beginning of your description that uses a lot of your main keywords, and makes it sound appealing, like this is a great budget, the last budget you're ever gonna need. Or I'm trying to think off the top of my head, which is not easy to do. I don't know. However, you want to avoid using certain words that have been just really overused, like awesome, amazing, epic. There was recently a study that just came out. I think every year the dictionary makes does a survey and makes a list of the most annoying words of the year, or the most overused words of the year. And awesome and amazing were both on that list because everybody says that. And I am totally guilty of that. I love both of those words, and I'm just such like a peppy person that I think I'm generally annoying to people a lot of times. So I use those words a lot. But if you're going to create a listing, try to avoid some of those very, very common words and use alternate words instead. So check out a synonym and figure out what are some other words instead of amazing that you could throw in there. And then of course you want to use images that convey emotion whenever possible as well. So for example, this image, this product in itself uses humor to help appeal to the buyer's feelings, and this is a huge seller. This store is actually still on break from the holidays. It's still Christmas break in a lot of places, but this is a huge bestseller, and it's because it's funny. So this one is actually a teacher's gift, but there's a lot of different products in their store that are very, very funny, and it is doing so well because it applies to that feeling of humor and funny stuff. It makes you feel good. It releases endorphins, right? So people really like that. So this is a great example. Another good example of using emotions is this store. This is a bridal tumbler store, and they are using emotions like friendship, love, camaraderie, and it's a really powerful driver of sales. They could, like many tumbler stores, just have an image like this or this, which showcases just the product by itself. But they have secured the bestseller spot because this is their main image, and you can see smiles and you can see friends, and it makes you think, oh, bridesmaids they're so happy, that's so great, I'm gonna buy this and we're gonna have it at our bridal party or whatever when we're getting ready for the wedding. And as you can see, the faces are all cropped out. But if you remember earlier, I said I was going to talk about videos. This is an amazing video example of using emotions to really drive a buyer to purchase something. So you can see they're all holding the product, they're all happy, they're together, they're doing the like matching robes, and it really gives you like, oh, this is fun bachelorette party vibes. Another example of really using great videos, so if we jump back to Della's and the jewelry store that gives you personalized jewelry, they have a video that is actually so good, it's almost like a TV commercial. And their sales are pretty high, so they can obviously afford to invest in things like this. But if you watch this video, you very much can feel the sentiment behind giving or receiving this as a gift. So they do a really great job of making this appealing because it's elegant, it's beautiful, it comes in this beautiful box that I mentioned earlier, and it's just a really, really well done video. It really appeals to the emotions. So that is another really great example of appealing to your buyer's feelings or appealing to their excitement. And all of those scarcity tactics that we mentioned before are also great ways of appealing to your buyer's emotions, because that appeals to their fear of missing out, their fear of having to pay more when the sale ends or whatever. That is also using a buyer's feelings to drive more sales. Okay, the next tip that I want to talk about is highlighting a pain point or a problem that your particular item may solve. And this is a great example of using that particular concept. So I'm going to jump down in this description here by co-products and read for you their appeal statement. So this appeal statement says, be in control of your finances and find out where your money goes. So that is massive in terms of highlighting a pain problem, because it's something that almost everyone can relate to, right? Whether you're struggling to make ends meet, or whether you have money and you're trying to like invest your money or manage your books or whatever you're trying to do, there's a very common problem of wanting to know or needing to know where your money goes and have your budget in place, right? So this really targets a pretty universal pain point of not knowing where your money is going or wanting to be more in control of your finances. So that is a really, really powerful example of that. That brings me to the last tip in what is a much longer video than I originally intended to film. So I apologize. But hopefully you're learning a lot. Okay, the last tip is overwhelmed buyers will often jump ship and abandon cart. So I've thrown a lot of information at you so far already, and that may have felt overwhelming. And a lot of times when we feel overwhelmed, our natural instinct or our first instinct is to run, right? And there's a really common concept in sales psychology or buyer psychology about decision paralysis. And so decision paralysis is something that happens when somebody has too many choices. When you have too many choices, your brain is like trying to pinpoint, oh, what do I want? What do I want? What do I want? And it essentially just shuts down altogether, and it leaves. It turns and goes the other way. You're like, okay, I don't want anything. I'll come back to this later. And a lot of times you don't come back to it later. You just abandon cart, and that's that. So this is important because we want to find a super simple way to highlight features and to show people that they're getting bonuses or that they're getting value without making it look overwhelming. So one of the things that we can do is to keep our images simple. So for example, this main image here is pretty simple. It doesn't have a ton of different features listed on it. You can actually scroll through here and see that there are a lot of features here. If I go up here, you can see similar items here. Most of these are from the same store, but there's some of these images that just look really, really complex and really complicated. And in fact, if I open this search up, we can see all of these. Some of these we're going to instantly be turned off by because the images are so busy that we can't quite see, what it comes with or what the features are or how it's going to look. We can't really envision it because our eyes are processing so much information. So that is something that we want to keep in mind when we're making our images, is that we really do want it to be very simple and clean looking. So another concept to keep in mind is to show people that something is easy to use. So for example, and here's where another awesome video comes in, this is an editable package of bridal shower games, and this video shows that it is very, very easy to edit things and change things. So the buyer doesn't feel overwhelmed, like, oh, well, I have to edit that could take forever, that could be really complicated. They are really showing visually how simple and how fast it is to make changes and to edit it to be exactly how you want it to be. This is really, really powerful in terms of, just simplifying things for your buyer. And one of the ways that we can do that is with our images. So for example, this same exact image or this same exact listing has an image that really makes it clear. Like, you can edit the wording, you can edit on your internet browser, you can print it whenever you like, and then you just download it. And they really just make it look approachable and easy to use. Even though in reality, if I go to their main image here, it comes with 100 bridal shower games. So this is a big product. It has a lot of value. And what they have done is find simple, easy ways to show that value without overwhelming you. That is also true if we jump back to the spreadsheets. They also have a fantastic video that shows you how easy it is to use their spreadsheet. So if you are perhaps not a huge math person and you are just learning how to use a budget, they have a video here so you can just see, oh, all I do is enter things in and click enter and it's good. And while we're on the topic of how awesome this particular spreadsheet maker is, I just want to point out that they only have 10 listings and they are making $300,000 a year on 10 listings. So talk about raking in the cash. You should check out their video here.